Start with Anthony down in the front.
Just having starting pitchers go as deep as Snell and Yamamoto have done for you the last 2 games is something that doesn't really happen in today's game anymore. How and why have you guys been able to pull it off?
Well, I think if you look at the construction of our roster currently, the strength is the starting pitching. And, when you can have your most talented pitchers get the most outs, then you're in a good spot. And right now, all 4 of those guys are in a really good headspace. Physically, they're sound. And, you feel good about those guys starting a game and pushing them, and they're prepared for this.
Go to Jared, end of the second row.
You've had a lot of good starting pitchers here for the time you've been in this job. But throughout your playoff career, there's certainly been games you've had great starting pitchers, and you did take them out before the 8th, before the 9th. Like, what do you think has gotten you to the point where you're just maybe more comfortable pushing these guys to 105, 110 pitches where maybe you weren't in the past?
Yeah, I think it's a combo of I just think that right now each one of these guys is throwing the ball incredibly well. And, obviously, there's been things with the bullpen, but just trying to find the right, spots for those guys. But again, I think for me, it just goes to, given your, just kind of weighing out whoever's behind them has got to be a better option, given where those guys are at. And I believe in all of our pitchers, but I think in each moment I got to evaluate each game and how they're throwing the baseball. And, the last 2 nights and even this postseason, I just feel really confident in the way the starters are attacking hitters, the efficiency, the way they're able to mix and give hitters different looks.
Chelsea on the far right in the front.
Hey, Dave. Yamamoto had some big games for you last October, so it's not like this is totally coming out of nowhere. But in the last year, what have you kind of seen come out of him that has allowed him to be the guy he was on this stage tonight?
I see a real confidence. I think that's what it is. I think that, last year certainly there was a transition, and even in the postseason, I didn't give him a whole lot of leash. And we also had a really talented bullpen, which we clearly leaned on and have talked about, a lot. But I think this year he's got true confidence for me that 3rd time through at pitch 90, he feels that he's the best option. And so I think for me, that just gives me that confidence.
Jack, 3rd row in the middle.
Well, was it a tough call sending him back out for the 9th?
No, it wasn't. It was it was a hitter-to-hitter thing. We had Vesia behind him, but just the way he was throwing, I felt really good about him starting the 9th.
And then what was with the mound meeting in the 5th when Will called out Mark? It seemed like
No, I was like, I didn't know what was going on, and I think as I've learned more later, it was Will thought there was a little confusion and he didn't know if there was something physically wrong, and so they just ended up turning that into a mound visit.
Steve, 2nd row.
I know it was kind of an anomaly, but the last time he had pitched here, he didn't make it out of the 1st inning. Then tonight, first pitch, homer, and it didn't seem like it seemed to bother him at all. Nothing. Just how is he different now than maybe when he was here, even in the summer?
I think in totality, the season was fantastic. Obviously, with the postseason, the focus is heightened. It's just, you give up the first pitch of the game, you give up a homer, and then you go out there and then you throw a complete game. Was in complete command the entire night. And so I can't really speak to that outing, but, in the regular season, there's going to be good ones, there's going to be bad ones. But right now, like I've said, our entire team is playing the best baseball we've played all year. The focus, the concentration level is at the highest, and, we're peaking at the right time.
Dave will finish up on the left side, 2nd row.
Churio got him on what looked like a pretty good pitch, first pitch. How impressive was it for him to just shake it off, go back to getting ground balls, go back to the plan right away when the crowd's buzzing. Everything seems to be going that direction.
It was, but that's who he is, and that's who kind of all of our guys are. And even, those guys take a lead, and we just don't panic, and we keep taking our at-bats, and Yamamoto resets and, manages that inning, and I think he just walked one tonight. So it just kind of speaks to, obviously talent. There's a lot of talent in the room. It speaks to character in the sense of, whatever happens, it doesn't phase us. And our guys are hungry. We got a lot of work to do. We put ourselves in a good position, but those guys, they're not going to quit. They're going to keep playing hard, and we know that, and we got to play our best baseball.
All right, thanks, Dave. We'll see you in LA.
Thanks, guys.